Well, I'm, in spite of the fact that I believe this is where David started his affair, I am just gonna be a real good sport. And, I feel like, maybe with my new Miami hairstyle I'm trying out and sitting in the back of this Maserati convertible, well, maybe David would have thought twice about starting an affair with someone else. But Shannon Storms is having a real good time. Sean, could you slow down just a smidge? Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This week's recap is coming to you on location in New York City. As some of you know, this is where my daughter lives and my husband and I are here to spend Thanksgiving with her. So this is the recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 14, Episode 17, Florida Fun and Fury, which is also the only F's I give. We start off with Bronwyn and Kelly. They are meeting for lunch, and basically this is just Bronwyn trying to talk Kelly into coming on the Miami trip. Kelly doesn't want to go because, Tamara and Shannon, it's like the witches of Eastwick with those two. Just cackling, and it's like the Games of Thrones. We cut over to Tamara and Gina, who are shopping for bikinis for the Miami trip. Tamara tells her that it has been 3 weeks since she's even spoken to Kelly. Back to Bronwyn and Kelly. Bronwyn is telling her, you know what, don't engage. Just don't engage with them. And Kelly said, I try, but they say I fight dirty. Well, I mean, you all do, really. Anyway, Bronwyn convinces her to just try one more time with Tamara. Talk to her, and you guys had been friends, so maybe you can, work it out. Will you just try? Are you in? And Kelly goes, okay, I'm in. And then in her talking head, she goes, I'm not going to let the three amoebas get in my way of having a good time. Meanwhile, as Bronwyn is getting her to give it a try and make amends with Tamara, we cut back to Tamara and Gina, and Tamara is basically just trash-talking Kelly. Kelly, she's only as smart as the last person she spoke to. And Gina's like, yeah. Do you think Gina understands that nobody does that more than her? I mean, come on, every time she talks to Tamara. Yeah, Emily set me up to fail. She wants to make fun of me. If anybody is easily swayed by people getting in their ear, it's you, Gina. I'm not saying Kelly isn't guilty of that too. I'm just saying, and it's pretty funny having Gina go, oh yeah, Kelly does listen to whoever's talking to her. Anyway, of course, Tamara says this time Kelly has crossed a line. How many times are we going to hear that? The next scene is Shannon running late and in the car, texting and driving, which doesn't seem super safe or legal, but she is on her way to her final court date. This is where her divorce will finally either get settled or they will go to trial. Okay, next we are in the car with Gina and Tamara, and they're on their way to Vicky's, and they're talking about how Vicky has called them over for lunch and that she had a big surprise. So they're wondering, is it going to be a gift? And Gina's like, yeah, I could use a new car. Yeah, it's not going to be a car, Gina. Sorry. And then Tamara tells her, Vicky said that she invited everybody except Kelly. So I was on the phone with Bronwyn this morning, and I said to her, so am I going to see you tonight at Vicky's? And she's like, what? Yeah. Thanks, Vicky. And they're laughing about it. I mean, that's what mean girls do. Yeah, Vicky did not invite Bronwyn. Why does Bronwyn invite her to things? Bronwyn invited her to her weaning party, although that may have been more of a punishment. But she is inviting her on this Miami trip, and I just don't get it. I mean, I do. I know it's a TV show, and she was probably contractually obligated to. But Vicky's a friend of, so I don't know if she should be obligated. Okay, so Gina and Tamara and Emily arrive, and I guess Shannon is coming later, after her court date. And Vicky's like, oh God, Vicky is just so Vicky. And I'm used to it by now, but also it's kind of super offensive. What she does is I ordered lunch for everybody. I got falafel. And everyone's like, what? And she's pointing to it. It's falafel. I don't even know how. I feel sort of disgusted with Vicky lately more than usual. So I don't know if I'm like if it's being clouded by that or not, but I'm just getting a little tired of her little antics like that. Anyway, now they're all sitting outside by like a fire pit, and Vicky goes, oh, I'm so hot. Are you guys hot? I'm hot. And she's doing this with her left hand, and finally Gina sees this ginormous diamond on her finger. And she's like, what? And everybody screams, and she's like, I'm engaged. In her talking head, she goes, so this happened? Anyway, they are just all thrilled, and Vicky retells the story of the proposal, which sounds like it's right out of a Hallmark movie. I don't know how much is embellished. Again, I think I'm not being fair to Vicky, so I'm just going to assume it all went down exactly as she said. But Steve Lodge, not the most romantic man. And I also feel like there was so much pressure to pop the question that I can't imagine it took her by surprise, but whatever. I'm going to let her have it because I feel like I'm being unfairly snarky toward her. Okay, now Shannon arrives to bring the mood down. Let's curtail all this celebrating. I just finalized my divorce, but actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. She said that David was actually nice to her. And she was a little teary, but not in a woe is me kind of a way. It was more like, yeah, this is it. This is ending now, the chapter's closed. And David actually said that he was proud of her for how she's been handling things and how she moved on and her successes and all that. So I don't know. In the end, we see a little, like a headline that said that she got 1.4 million, which seems like a lot less than I thought. Although, according to Shannon, she's like, first I thought I was going to get this much, and then I thought I was going to get this much, and so it was somewhere in the middle. So I think after thinking she would get nothing, she was pretty pleased with the 1.4 million. And in addition to that, she gets, between spousal support and child support, another $10,000 a month. So I could live off of that. I mean, maybe not the lifestyle she's used to, but certainly comfy. And the best news of all is that Shannon Storms is going to Key West. Screw the no-fly zone. She cannot be stopped. Shannon Storms cannot be stopped. In the kitchen, Gina and Emily are talking, and Gina. She's saying that Miet is just doting on me all the time. He just waits on me hand and foot. I mean, he's really bringing his A game. Then we get a little flashback to earlier in the store, and she told Tamara that they went to a hotel in Laguna Beach, just the two of them, and a lot of things went down in that room. And then Emily says, do you think he, has really changed, for good? Gina, oh, yeah, 100%. He would never cheat on me again. Anyway, outside the ladies are talking about the Miami trip, and Tamara said, I don't know if Kelly is going or not. I haven't talked to her in over 3 weeks. And then she said, my attorney has advised us not to speak to her. So Shannon and Tamara are not allowed to speak to Kelly. We'll see how that goes. Next, we see Bronwyn packing for Miami. Bronwyn and Sean are going ahead of time, and then I guess Sean's leaving early. Boy, side note, you guys have all talked about this before. I never really made a big deal out of it, but you guys are right. Sean really does wear a statement necklace. I mean, that thing is substantial in size. I don't think I ever realized it was that big. All right, so Bronwyn is telling him that she knows that Vicky got engaged because it's all over social media. And she also knows that everybody was invited to her house except for her and Kelly. So, not great. Because she has been trying to make an effort with Vicky. I don't know why, but she has. Okay, the next scene is Tamra riding her bike over to Vicky's house. And Vicky's family is there. Her son, Michael, her daughter, Brianna, and Brianna's whole family. And Steve is there too. And Vicky wants Tamra to take a family picture of all of them. So she goes in the house to get the camera, and then Tamra comes over to Brianna. And they're sort of comparing notes and talking about Vicky being engaged to Steve and how much better it is because, you know, if you guys remember, those two could not stand Brooks. I mean, they're not the only two that couldn't stand Brooks, but, you know, Brianna was very concerned about her relationship with him, and it drove a wedge in between her and Brianna. You know, Tamra pulled no punches about how she felt about Brooks either, so they're kind of just comparing notes, and Brianna gets her own little confessional, and she said that she's living in North Carolina. She's never felt better. She's near a lupus center. I know she had some sort of illness she kept battling, and it would flare up and go away and all that, but I don't remember the diagnosis. In any case, she's near a very good lupus center, and she's getting that under control, and she's lost a lot of weight on keto, and so she's feeling better and healthier and more relaxed than she ever has before. And I'm pretty sure the distance from Vicky isn't hurting either. Anyway, she talks about how her mom and Don, while Don was a good dad to her and Michael because they got married when she was 6 years old and he was basically her father most of her life, but that she didn't think that they were in love with each other. And then there was Brooks, and Brianna said with Brooks it was all physical. And then we get, oh my God, we get this flashback. I know you guys remember it. I can't remember how many years ago it was. I think it might have been at Lizzie's house. There was a dinner. In any case, Shannon asks Brooke, what aspect do you love the most about Vicky? And Brooks's answer is, no doubt it's her vagina. I remember being like disgusted. And also, I mean, how can you not laugh at vagina? But yeah, gross. Anyway, Tamra ends up taking a cute family picture of all of them. Next, we are in Miami, FLA. We are at the Confidant. That's the name of the hotel. Actually, it's just Bronwyn and Sean who are there, and Bronwyn's getting the rooms all ready and nice, and she has ordered flowers for Vicky's room to congratulate her on her engagement, even though she wasn't invited to her house. In Bronwyn's talking head, she's talking about how she thinks that in Miami she makes sense. She goes, I mean, I think I'm like too over the top for Newport Beach, but here in Miami, Sean and I we were just the perfect couple. And then we see these photos of them like out and partying, and hopefully it's a costume party because I don't know what's happening right here for either of them. Okay, next we have the packing montage. Everyone's getting ready to meet Bronwyn in Miami. Tamra calls Bronwyn on the phone to ask her what she should pack, and Bronwyn said, well, probably just like one sexy outfit. Remember, it's humid. You're going to be sweating constantly anyway, no matter what you're wearing. And Tamara's like, ugh, okay. Who likes humid? That's got to be like consistent across the board weather that I can't imagine anybody liking. You know how there's like people who love the cold and people who love it when it's warm, but does anybody love humid? Really? Or we cut over to Shannon packing, and Sophie and her friend are sitting on her bed, and also so is Stella. And Sophie's like, yeah, Mom, definitely bring some nice lingerie to Miami. I think you should look at Stella's shirt. It's really cute. And then we see Stella. Side note, Stella is the one Shannon probably needs to worry about the most. But she's also my favorite. I do enjoy that kid's sass. Anyway, Sophie goes, it's a motorcycle. And it says, put something exciting between your legs. Okay. Stella's 14, for one thing. Shannon's like, are you out of your mind? Stella, that's disgusting. Stella just laughs. And Sophie's a little bit of an instigator too. Because she's like, hey, Mom, maybe you should take the advice on that t-shirt in Miami. Put something exciting between your legs. Okay, I take it back. Maybe she was right to be drug testing them as well. I don't know. Oh, God. It was kind of funny, though. Okay, now we see Kelly and Emily in the car together on the way to the airport. And Emily's like, I'm sure you're not really thrilled about going, right? Kelly's like, I'm not scared of Tamra. And I'm not scared of Shannon either. Actually, Bronwyn was my friend first. No worries there, because no one is trying to steal Bronwyn from you. Trust me, she's all yours. You guys, I am so sorry. There is crazy stuff going on outside with the ambulances and everything. I hope it's not interfering too much. Okay, then we cut to Tamra and Shannon in the car on the way to the airport. And Tamra's like, I haven't spoken to Kelly in over 3 weeks, so how do you predict that she's going to react to me? And Shannon's like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then Tamra's like, it's going to be weird because we can't talk to her. Yeah, something tells me you're going to talk to her. And it ain't going to be good. Okay, on the plane we get a little video footage from Gina's phone. She's sitting next to Vicky, and Vicky's got a blanket over her head. I don't know. She's like, well, this is what happens after a few cocktails with Miss Victoria. But you know what it reminded me of? Vicky in Iceland. Do you remember when she got carried out on the stretcher? And she had the sheet or whatever over her face. It was, if she wasn't sitting up, it would have looked like they were carrying a dead body out of that hotel. Okay, we're at the airport now, and Tamara's like, how are we getting to the hotel? And Vicky goes, Bronwyn and Sean are picking us up. This is what I hate. You are so mean and sarcastic to Bronwyn, and I'm not sure you totally have a reason to be. You guys had a rocky start, but ever since then, I feel like Bronwyn has been trying, making an effort to reach out to you, and you're just not having it. So, I don't know. Okay, so Bronwyn and Sean show up to pick up the ladies at the airport in 2 convertible Maseratis. And I forgot that Gina also doesn't love Bronwyn, because in her confessional she said, yeah, I'm not surprised that Bronwyn shows up in a Maserati, because, she tends to be a little bougie. But, I'm not mad at it. So the reality is, nobody's really thrilled about these 2 convertibles. Somebody said my eyelashes are going to blow off my body. I mean, everyone's a little concerned. And Bronwyn says, okay, so 3 of you go with Sean, 3 of you come with me. And without knowing the results of this, I can tell you right now, Tres Amigas are going to be in a car together, and it's not going to be Bronwyn's. Gina's going to get stuck with the others, even though I'm sure she wants to be with Tres Amigas, but, she's still a pledge. And I'm right. And seriously, nobody is happy with these convertibles. Hair extensions, false eyelashes, flying everywhere. The ladies are catching hair and bugs in their lip gloss. It is messy. Okay, so once there, everybody has their own rooms, and when Vicky gets into her room, she sees the flowers, and there's champagne, and there's a note there from Bronwyn and Sean congratulating her on her engagement. She's like, oh, this is very nice. Yeah, it is. Like, probably you should have invited her to lunch, right? We see Bronwyn and Sean in their room, and they think it's going well. Kelly's in her room calling Dr. Brian Reagan. Tamara and Shannon are in Shannon's room, and they're out on the terrace, and it's very windy. Tamara is the only one who cannot stop obsessing about Kelly. Nobody else is talking about it. Nobody else is concerned. They're like enjoying themselves and getting settled in. But Tamara, there is no rest for the wicked. She has got to keep on it. Tamara's like, word of advice. Don't have Kelly Dodd out here with you, and don't stand too close to the edge. She just might push you off. So that wasn't a thinly veiled reference to her pushing her mother down the stairs, was it, Tamra? Gina's in Emily's room getting her makeup on, and oh God, Gina tells her butt looks really big. And Emily's like, oh. And she's like, no, like in a good way, though. Like in a phenomenal way. Yeah. Good save, Gina. Even Vicky goes to Bronwyn's room to thank her for the flowers and the champagne, and so far, the only one of these ladies who is obsessed with staying negative is Tamra. Girl, take a minute off from your scheming and plotting. You know, listen, it'll be there later. Just settle into the hotel room. Okay, so now it's 11 p.m. and everybody is downstairs all dolled up and ready for a night on the town. Shannon's got like a high pony going. And in Kelly's talking head, she said, after 50 years old, you need to give up the hair extensions. It looks ridiculous, okay? When they get on the bus, Shannon's like, I look like a hot old Charo. I mean, that is just the weirdest description. But naturally, Gina, who is the youngest of the group, is like, what's a Charo? Someone goes, it's a cinnamon dessert. Okay, that's a churro. Oh, God. It's just, it was funny. Okay, next we are at 11 Miami. And the Chiron says 11:25 p.m. And I feel like there's a reason why we keep getting that timestamp, but I don't know why yet. Now it's 12:15 a.m. and so far so good. All the ladies are dancing and having some tequila and and having fun. Gina tells Bronwyn she likes Miami. Tamra is licking Emily. I don't know what that is. Emily's like, are you gonna kiss me? And Tamra sticks her tongue out. But the tequila's flowing. There are strippers there, and in Emily's confessional, she's like, I like to fund law school tuition for other women. Come on, you pay for your tuition. I love women supporting other women. Bronwyn is like up on this thing dancing, and Kelly's like, look at Bronwyn! Look at Bronwyn! Look at Bronwyn! Three times legit, she says this. I mean, it's very Camille Grammer-esque, her dancing. But I don't think it's worth repeating 3 times. Look at Bronwyn. Okay? Wasn't that good? Now it's 1 a.m. Tamra is dancing, and Vicky is like trying to hold down her dress so people can't see up her skirt. You know what, Vicky? That's a lost cause. Okay? I think we've already seen up her dress earlier, by the way. And then honestly, this is probably significant, but I couldn't tell or hear, like the cameras weren't on them, but I think Kelly tried to talk to them, tried to talk to Tamra and or Shannon. I'm not sure, but it was loud in there and everything. And in Shannon's confessional, she said, I was like, what? Can't hear you. I mean, we don't want to do this now, Kelly. So I don't know what happened exactly. Now the timestamp is 2:15 a.m. and they are getting back on the bus to head home. Side note, wait, is that Sean sitting on the bus? Was he there the whole time? Oh my God. Do we have another like Simon Van Kempen situation on our hands? Oh God, I hope so. I kind of hope so. That would be awesome. All right, back at the hotel lobby, they're getting off the bus. So I guess that 11 Club gave them all hats. Gina said something like, oh, let me cover up my hair with that, or something along those lines, because that was the opening for Kelly to say, I'm all about change, but that blonde is like ridiculous. You gotta get rid of that fucking do. Oh God. Maybe the strangest part of the whole thing is that Gina's reaction is, yeah, it's not the best. So maybe she's getting a little tired of it too. But anyway, as they're going through the lobby, Kelly says to Shannon, you need to cut that hair too. That looks like shit. Okay. First of all, you know she doesn't have to cut it. It's hair extensions. She just needs to take them out. Secondly, come on, Kelly. What are you doing? If I heard the whole thing of what happened in the club, maybe I would understand. Maybe it would make sense because maybe she was trying to reach out to them and they were being mean to her or something, or just kind of brushing her off. That might make sense, but I don't know. I think she was just drinking and being snotty. So anyway, Shannon says, "You know what, Kelly? Can you just be nice for a second and not grab my hair?" And Kelly goes, "I didn't grab your hair." Shannon goes, "Well, you said it looked like shit." Kelly, "Well, yeah, it does actually." Shannon, "I am trying to look different in Miami. Thanks for telling me I look like shit." Kelly, "I'm just trying to make you look better." Yes, how benevolent of you. So they're both walking away from each other, and Kelly's like, "She's like 60. You have to cut it short then." And Shannon goes, "Stop. Just stop." Now it is the next day. Sean's flying home, finally, and Gina calls Bronwyn in her hotel room. And she's like, "Where are you?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm still in the room. I'm just saying goodbye to Sean." And she's like, "Okay, well, you better get down here because we're all down by the pool and we're talking about you." So they hang up, and then Gina gets stung by a bee on her hand. I think she said she grabbed it. Like, I don't think she grabbed the bee, but like maybe the bee was on her glass and she grabbed her glass and it stung her, like the palm of her hand. And she's like, "Ow, oh my God, this hurts." And Emily goes, "Pee on it." And Tamara's like, "That's for jellyfish." I can't believe it was Emily that suggested that they pee on it. I could see Vicky saying that. But definitely Emily seems like the person to be like, no, that's not what you do for a bee sting. Side note, hold the phone. Is that a new statement necklace on Sean? Good God, did he pick up another one while he was in town? I bet he did. That guy definitely has a look, doesn't he? So before going down to the pool, Bronwyn moseys on over to Shannon's room and plops down and makes herself all comfy on Shannon's unmade bed. I have some level of self-diagnosed OCD. That was creepy to me. I didn't even invite you to my room, let alone invite you to like sit down on my unmade bed. I understand it's a hotel room. There might not be a lot of places to sit down, but then throw the covers back up and sit down on the end of it or something. I don't know. Sorry. That was a weird side note that probably only bothers me. Side note, when I started this recap, I took like real detailed notes. As I'm getting near the end, I'm looking at my notes now, and all I have written down is they discussed the shitty hair situation. So Bronwyn says, I didn't hear what happened last night. And Shannon just fills her in on what Kelly said to her. Okay, down at the pool now, Kelly is sitting at the far end of the bar with her laptop. And Gina walks over and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Working." Working? Like what working is Kelly doing? Is she like thinking up new flavors for her water? What does she do for a living? Does anybody know? Anyway, Bronwyn's down there now, and she feels bad because she really pushed for Kelly to come on this trip, knowing that she didn't really want to, and now she doesn't want her to feel isolated. Well, okay, I get it, but Kelly is really isolating herself right now. And also, come on, what was that the night before with making fun of Shannon's hair? It's not like Kelly's working real hard here. But now Bronwyn would like her to make up with Shannon. She's like, "You two were friends." And, she's given up on Tamara. She's like, "You don't even have to talk to Tamara. But Shannon, don't you want to talk to Shannon?" And speak of the devil, Shannon and Tamara come walking by. So Kelly goes, Shannon, can you come here for a minute?" So she comes over, and Tamara is standing like at a distance, but she's still close enough to, swoop in if she needs to. Right before that, Kelly said, "I don't think I did anything wrong." And Bronwyn said, "Well, she's talking about you, like, calling Jim Bellino and that being a lawsuit." And Kelly's, well, first of all, did Kelly call Jim Bellino? Didn't she just kind of tweet at him, like, "You were right, I don't think it was like she actually called him up and conspired with him or something. Anyway, according to Kelly, she said that Shannon's lawsuit has been dropped already. So Shannon is really just upset on Tamara's behalf. So anyway, she calls Shannon over and she said, Bronwyn was just telling me that you're upset with me about the Gimbalino thing. It had nothing to do with you. It was towards somebody else and my back was up against a wall and I had to do something. So Tamara, I told you she was ready to swoop in, is now swooping in. Oh, was it about me then? Well, yeah. Of course it is, Tamara. So Kelly said, yes, you were the one who first brought up Train. Then we see the flashback. You also said I broke someone's hand. And Tamara goes, who told you that? And she's like, Shannon did. I would get a flashback for that. And she's like, and you said I pushed my mother down the stairs? And Tamara goes, Vicky said that. And Kelly goes, it was on camera. Somebody recorded it. Okay, now that might be true, but in Tamara's defense here, it was Vicky that said it, and that was Tamara repeating what Vicky said. So now Tamara is screaming, I was sticking up for you. What part of that don't you get? What don't you get? And Kelly goes, repeating it. I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. You are repeating a rumor that in the world of, reality television, that is just as damning. And Tamara knows that too, by the way. So now Shannon said, what you've done, Kelly, this is real life stuff that's going on. And Kelly said, then don't talk about people. People that lie get sued. Tamara, what did you just say? Kelly, that's how lies get sued. Okay, that isn't exactly what you just said because you actually said it right the first time. That's how lies get sued doesn't quite make sense, but we all know what she means. So Shannon said, just keep digging deeper, Kelly. Tamara now storms off. And now Gina and Emily have walked up. And Gina stops Tamara and said, what's going on? Tamara, she's so dirty. That girl is f***ing dirty. And she walks away and then yells to everybody, go suck some more dick for money, Kelly. That's what you do. Thank goodness Tamara doesn't go dirty. I'm sure that little outburst was fun for all the families spending time with their kids at the pool. And we get a to be continued. Yeah, that is where this episode ends. There is some stuff. Next week, there is some stuff going on. I don't want to get into it now. We'll save that for next week. But, yeah, there's something coming up next week that looks a little juicy. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Sorry about the conditions. And now I've been talking so long, it's getting really dark in this room. But I appreciate you being here with me. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Jill Informed, and please leave a comment. I read them all and I love to hear from you. All right, I'll be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye.